Hey everybody, Home/Hunter here, and in today's video we're taking a look at a very fun battle submission from the Open Master League featuring Florges with an unexpected moveset that is absolutely melting Rhyperior, and that is Petal Blizzard. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, Tangy Platypus, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now, Florges is a pure Fairy-type Pokemon that is typically running Fairy Wind, Disarming Voice, and Moonblast, but this trainer is opting for the spicy choice of Petal Blizzard, specifically to try and ruin Rhyperior's day. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and take a look at Petal Blizzard Florges in action in the Open Master League. Hopping into the first match, leading the Florges into Primarina. And as you can see right off the bat, Petal Blizzard a very expensive attack, but Tangy able to make a nice switch out and catch a Hydro Cannon onto his Waterfall Primarina. Now we have the battle of the Waterfall users. Opponent is going to bank quite a lot of energy and send in Togekiss. Considering Yveltal is the third, incredibly valuable to bait out this Togekiss. Togekiss going to look for a farm down, and we're going to see Primarina make it to another Hydro Cannon. I believe this should be enough to knock out here. Opponent tries to survive it, but they do not, and they will get KO'd. The opposing Primarina banked a ton of energy here, so whatever gets brought in is honestly, this is going to be tough. Thinking about it, probably going to be sending in Yveltal, I'd imagine, as Yveltal at the very least can survive a couple. Unfortunately, does get the one-turn bring-in lag there, so not able to get the Sucker Punch through. Opponent just going to go for a Hydro Cannon, and now they're firing off Hydro Cannon number 2. Yveltal is going to end up using the shield. Waterfall to Hydro Cannon is straight 5, so it is very, very fast. And now we're going to see a switch and a combo play into Florges. Disarming Voice is going to be shielded. In the back, oh my goodness, it's Rhyperior, and this is the moment to shine for Petal Blizzard. Do they respect it? They do not. Down goes Rhyperior, and the opponent's win con up in smoke, as now they just don't have enough health remaining on the Primarina. They realize it, they're just going to let that move go, and that's a good game. We move to the next match, Florges versus Tapu Bulu. A matchup where having the Moonblast would be pretty nice, as of course Moonblast would be able to hit significantly harder than Disarming Voice. Disarming Voice is going to be shielded up by the opponent. The Tapu Bulu has farmed up to a potential Solar Beam. Will we see the shield here? No, there's no shield, but that is going to be the Solar Beam. The opponent, oh no, they try and snipe. Now it's Tangy's turn for massive grass damage, and this battle is off the rails instantly. My goodness. In comes Yveltal, getting the Sucker Punch farm down, but the Solar Beam landing into the Petal Blizzard honestly felt like whiplash in this game number 2. Back in comes the Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu going for the Nature's Madness. This does not KO, and Tapu Bulu never has an ability to farm down. So for Yveltal, tanking a move is honestly not bad. Oblivion Wing picks up the knockout. What is that final Pokemon? It's going to be Palkia, and even with Waterfall, that's not a winnable endgame, so the opponent will resign the match. Florges into Yveltal. Good lead in the next match here for the Florges. Yveltal staying in this matchup. Florges is going to farm up. Opponent tries to catch on Rhyperior. Oh no. Oh no. Petal Blizzard lands. Rhyperior in absolute shambles as it gets Fairy Wind farmed down. Back in comes Yveltal, and Yveltal is going to fire off the Oblivion Wing and win CMP. Oblivion Wing does not KO. Florges able to hang on and return fire with the Disarming Voice. That's going to be shielded up, and now in comes Waterfall Primarina. The poor opponent already lost an entire Pokemon as that Rhyperior got nuked by the Petal Blizzard. People just very, very comfortable with sending Rhyperior into Fairy types, and with the surprise moveset, it's caught a lot of opponents off guard. In the back is going to be Palkia, and even with the Primarina on Waterfall, I mean, this is just a miserable, miserable time for the Palkia. Palkia going to get hit with Disarming Voice number 2. I wouldn't be surprised if at this point they just let it through. Yeah, they're realizing there's no longer a win con. It's Yveltal versus Yveltal, and the opponent is going to resign the match. Moving to the next match, Florges versus another Rhyperior. Oh my goodness. I did not put these battles in a particular order, by the way. This is just the order that they were sent in. So Rhyperior clearly having a pretty rough day going up against Tangy Platypus. Rockwrecker is going to land. That just does so much damage. Opponent, they know they can survive a Moonblast here. Will we see the shield? Of course not. Goodbye, Rhyperior. Rhyperior out of here. In comes a Shadow Ho-Oh looking for the farm down, but Shadow Ho not able to get the farm down before the Disarming Voice is reached. And now Shadow Ho is going to be aligned against the Waterfall using Primarina. Primarina, I mean, this Brave Bird, it's a Shadow Brave Bird. You just have to respect it. Shadow Brave Bird is going to grab a shield. In the back is Yveltal. Yveltal is going to be met with a Hydro Cannon. Opponent doesn't have to shield this, but at this point, it honestly makes sense for them to do so. And now we have the mirror. Opponent up energy and the shields are even. So honestly, it does feel like the opponent is in a bit of an advantageous spot. Gonna fire off this Oblivion Wing. Oblivion Wing doesn't quite KO the opponent. Opponent is gonna let that through as they're able to withstand the damage. And now, I mean, by not shielding that, things could get a little awkward. They're gonna bank a move. In comes Ho-Oh, firing off the Dark Pulse. Oblivion Wing would do slightly more damage, but we will actually, oh no, tried to switch out, unable to do so. Back in comes Primarina. Primarina's gonna have to shield, and if Primarina wants to win, it's gonna have to tank an Oblivion Wing. Primarina is gonna get the farm down. Back in comes Yveltal, Oblivion Wing loaded. Will it be enough to KO? Primarina, not the bulkiest thing around. Oblivion Wing, oh, it doesn't KO. Primarina barely able to hang on and take the win. Moving to the next match, going up against a fellow content creator, Zair Felrose, a very tough lead, leading Florges into Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh going to stay in and go for a Brave Bird, so the opponent definitely core broken here. The Brave Bird is going to be shielded. In comes Palkia. Palkia, so this opponent, Zair here, is clearly triple weak to the Waterfall Primarina, but Zair correctly understanding that a Disarming Voice does not KO. And now, Tengi's going to have no way to try and farm down. So you can just spam out Aqua Tails in this matchup. We're going to see another Aqua Tail fired off here. Zair winning the charge stack priority tie. Aqua Tail will not KO, however. And this Disarming Voice eventually will have a couple bubbles hit. We're actually going to see a shield from Zair. Zair is going to go for a full farm down, exiting with quite a lot of energy. And the hope is that Yveltal can do well versus whatever's in the back, but honestly, it feels like a bit of an uphill battle, considering that Ho-Oh into Yveltal is very, very fine for the Ho-Oh. Florges farming up a ton of energy, looking for the farm down, but it's not to be. Another Aqua Tail reached by the Palkia. In comes Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is going to be met with Yveltal. Yveltal going to get hit with, this could be a Sacred Fire or a Brave Bird. Either way, it's going to do way too much damage. We will see the shield, and it's Zygarde in the back. And I just don't really see a win con here. The switch timers are misaligned, which is the one thing in Tengi's favor at the moment. Tengi gonna spam out Oblivion Wing after Oblivion Wing in this matchup. Another Oblivion Wing is gonna land. Opponent firing off energy. If they have Outrage, this is game over here. They do not. It's gonna be the crunch. And if you're Yveltal, you really have to try and make a play. Is this the CMP sack swap onto the Florges? Disarming Voice is going to KO, but it's just too little too late, as unfortunately, here's where actually Moonblast could be nice, because Moonblast would be doing more damage than the double resistant Petal Blizzard. Petal Blizzard just not going to cut it, and I think with Moonblast, that game was actually a win. But unfortunately, this is the first game we've seen where not having Moonblast was unfortunately a lose con. Moving to the next match, a familiar lead. Florges into Primarina. This time it is going to be the Charm Primarina, so they will have better fast move pressure, but slightly worse pacing. Oh my goodness, going straight for the Petal Blizzard here. Is the opponent going to shield it? Yes, they will. Even a Moonblast would do quite a lot of damage. Florges not going to get another Petal Blizzard, as the opponent actually does a very precise overfarm. Hydro Cannon shielded up. Now we're going to see the bait. Already showed the Petal Blizzard. Petal Blizzard would easily KO. We will see the second shield from the opponent. Trying to get to the Petal Blizzard, and does. I didn't think Florges was getting there. Florges is able to hang on, make the Petal Blizzard, win switch, and secure shield advantage as well. So things are looking very, very good. In comes Zygarde. Zygarde is going to get a farm down, but Zygarde's now going to get met with the Waterfall Primarina. In Primarina, it can take an Earthquake. Earthquake not going to be a huge problem here whatsoever, and it will be the Earthquake coming through from the Zygarde. In the back is Kyogre. Now, Kyogre could actually prove to be a bit problematic. Disarming Voice is going to land. Unfortunately, Waterfalls do so little to Kyogre that you're forced to switch out. Opponent throwing right away as they end up giving a free Sucker Punch. Yveltal, I mean, this is the move that's going to do the most damage because they're going to be on Crunch Earthquake, so they are going to be walled by Yveltal's typing. Oblivion Wing will pick up the knockout, and now for the opponent, they have to try and get through this Yveltal, but it's not going to be an easy process whatsoever. The Dragon Tails add up, but Crunch, you're really just fishing for debuffs, and the debuff does not come through, and now this is just looking like game over for the opponent. Yveltal too close to the back-to-back Oblivion Wings, and is going to get there, even over farming to play to the CMP tie, going for a little bit of a flex there, saying, I know exactly where your energy's at, and able to secure that win. We've got Florges versus Florges in the next match. This is going to be a bad lead because the opponent, of course, has Moonblast, and Tangy does not have Moonblast. Going to farm up to what could be a Moonblast, go for the Disarming Voice, and actually grab a shield from the opponent right off the bat. I do like the no shield, just saying, you know what, even if it is the Moonblast, this is not going to be an amazing matchup for me whatsoever. Opponent firing off a Disarming Voice. Is this going to be enough to KO? This will be very, very close. Disarming Voice does not KO. Going for the Disarming Voice, unfortunately, I don't think going to be able to make it to a second Disarming Voice, so we are going to see a switch out, and it's actually a simultaneous switch, Waterfall Primarina into Waterfall Primarina. The opponent looks like did get the one-turn swap there, so they are going to be behind in this matchup as they don't get the full sneak. They're going to be firing off a Disarming Voice as well. That will not be enough to knock out. At this range, you can just knock out with a Hydro. So just going to go straight for the Hydro. Look to either grab the final shield or more than likely just pick up the knockout. Opponent more than happy to sacrifice the Primarina. Back in comes the Florges. Florges, realizing they can't get the farm down, they're forced to fire off energy here. Disarming Voice will pick up the knockout. But, oh my goodness. I mean, Yveltal does have a shield advantage, but it's going to need it because this damage is going to add up quite a bit. Opponent switching out into Rhyperior. Rhyperior over-farming to throw on good timing, and this is a tough call to make. Committing the shield, getting it right as it is going to be the Rock Wrecker. Opponent now going to be 3 Mud Slaps away from their next move. Dark Pulse is going to connect. Do you just throw 4 and switch? And there's the catch right on cue. Saw it coming, and oh my goodness, beautiful, beautiful execution. Getting the farm down, and now this Florges is in danger. It's just too far behind in terms of energy. Back-to-back Oblivion Wings reached, which means this game is over. Opponent is going to shield. They're trying to play their way out of it, but Yveltal wins charge stack priority over Florges. So Yveltal gets the shield, go for Oblivion Wing number 2, and that's going to be game over for the opponent. So even in a mirror where Tangy did not have the nuke move that was required, still able to get the win. Terrible lead in the next match, leading Florges into Solgaleo. We're going to see, oh my goodness, the safe switch into the Waterfall Primarina answered by Nihilego. This opponent has never seen a Rhyperior in their lives. Rhyperior would absolutely eat this team alive, but the opponent actually makes a pretty big error. They actually let a second Hydro Cannon be reached, so they end up giving up both shields. At this point, honestly, I think you just have to throw away the Florges and then just 2 shield Yveltal and hope against hope that it's going to be able to pick up the knockout. Sludge Bomb is going to connect. We're now going to see the switch to Yveltal. Yveltal is going to be shielding up as they're going to fire off the Rock Slide. Opponent staying in with the Nihilego. Nihilego does get to another move. The Rock Slide pacing, able to force the final shield from Yveltal. Yveltal up shields in the back. Opponent is going to have their own Rhyperior. And yeah, this is just going to be a situation where Yveltal is going to get outpaced. Yveltal so close to the move, but so far. And Florges just has no way of beating that Solgaleo on the lead. What a team from the opponent. Triple weak to ground. The tough leads continue in the next match. Now Florges leading into Duskmane. Get a safe switch into the Waterfall Primarina. Answered with Kyogre. And with Waterfall on the Primarina, this is actually not a great matchup. Kyogre will typically win this. As look at that Disarming Voice damage. That just does nothing to the Kyogre. Kyogre farms up to a potential Thunder. Will we see a Thunder? Yes, we will. Thunder connects. And that's going to be good night to the Primarina. Back in comes Florges. Florges farming up to the back-to-back Disarming Voices. Unfortunately, the Disarming Voice energy is not going to be very valuable going up against the Duskmane. You just really have to hope that they're ABA weak to Yveltal, and they are. They have Rhyperior in the back, and Rhyperior down energy is not a counter. Rhyperior launching a charge attack. We see the shield and the Breaking Swipe bait, but thank goodness no debuff. It is a 50-50 chance of the debuff, so a bit of good luck goes Tangy's way. Tangy, after shielding that bait, is still going to get the outpace, making it to the Dark Pulse. This will not KO Rhyperior, but it will get Rhyperior low. We are going to see the shield from the Rhyperior. Rhyperior overfarms and throws on alignment, giving a free Sucker Punch. We see the shield. It's going to be the Rock Wrecker. Yveltal is going to get an outpace now. Opponent switches into Necrozma, but Duskmane is going to get absolutely shredded by the Sucker Punch Dark Pulse combination. Dark Pulse connects. That just KOs, and Yveltal just sweeping in the endgame. Rhyperior, such a powerful Pokemon, but down energy in the 2 shield. Yveltal will typically emerge victorious. Hopping into the final match, we're back where we started, leading Florges into Rhyperior. Oh my goodness, this Rhyperior has farmed up so much energy. Please tell me they shield and they don't lose 70 energy. Oh, they lose 70 energy. That's a one-hit KO. All that energy down the drain. In comes Tapu Bulu. And yeah, you just stay in here. You just stay in here. Once they eventually knock you out, you can put a Veltal on the Bulu, and you're just in a very fine position. Opponent overfarms a bit too much. Another Disarming Voice is reached. They're just fully sacrificing this Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu is finally going to fire off some energy. They go for the Madness. Madness will not KO. In the back, opponent has Xerneas. Xerneas could be a little bit tricky, as Xerneas is up energy and it's taken basically no damage. In comes Primarina. Primarina can live a Moonblast, not super well though, so we are going to see the no shield from the Primarina. Moonblast is going to land, and look at the damage. The good news is Geomancy does very, very little damage. Primarina now going to fire off a Hydro Cannon at this Xerneas. Xerneas will commit the shield, making it to another Hydro, losing the CMP tie, but grabbing the final shield is very, very valuable here. You get to set up a Veltal in a 1-0 shield scenario. Hydro Cannon is going to be shielded. Opponent throwing instantly. They do not want to take any more moves while debuffed. They'll pick up the knockout. But again, a Veltal just too strong in this endgame, farming down the Tapu Bulu. Xerneas realizes it cannot get 2 Moonblasts, so the opponent will resign the match. All in all, these are some very, very fun games. Petal Blizzard is something that I've considered on Florges before, but honestly, I just thought it was much too expensive. But now with Rhyperior just absolutely everywhere, Petal Blizzard, while it's not a great move, it does enough to Rhyperior, since Rhyperior takes double super effective damage. So even though Petal Blizzard is not a moveset that I'd recommend if you're looking to climb in the Open Master League, it definitely looks like a lot of fun and can catch some opponents off guard. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys so very much. And until next time, I've been Home Slice Henry.